Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Tate and Josh in the Morning, aka co-hosting Zach here. Last week I had another rough patch. Not gonna sit here and lie to you. Not gonna sugarcoat it. One, the Gators lost. My heart was in my stomach the rest of the day. I drooped around the fucking house like a 14-year-old boy who got his bike stolen off the porch. I was very angry because I think we were the better team. I still think that. Our defense is atrocious, guys. There's no hiding it. But anyway, we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Let's talk about our picks from last week. Zach, against the spread, 6-3. Phenomenal week, my friend.
What you got?
I mean, we had 10 games, but for whatever reason, it put the Coastal Carolina and Louisiana game, I think it was supposed to be played Saturday, but it got rescheduled for today. It's actually getting played now. So I'll update that next week. But Zach, 6-3, that's a damn good week, son. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Overall, against the spread, that makes you 18-11. Also impressive. Huddo.
What does that look like?
We got some talking to do, my boy.
What does that look like?
3-6.
God.
Brings you overall to 13-16.
Mother. I got to pick up some ground, boys.
3-6. God damn. Overall, 12-17. So I'm in last. I'm going to be honest with you. I was not expecting
Wait,
this.
so I picked up some this week?
You're in second.
Because I was in last.
You were in second last week, though.
No. Overall, I was not.
In the straight, you're still in last. That's probably what you're thinking about. Straight up, Zach, you went 5-4, so I don't know how you managed to do worse, but you did, than the spread. But, I mean, the spread is really what counts, because that's where you're going to make your money. Overall, 19-10, that's still good. Hutto, 7-2.
Damn.
Overall, 19-10. Tate went 7-2 as well, 20-9. So I'm in first right now.
Am I in last?
You're tied for last with Hutto. Y'all are both 19-10.
Okay.
But, hey, guys, those are straight up. That's pretty damn good, if I may say so myself. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about last week's game. Tennessee traveled to Athens. Tell me, what you guys thought about the game overall.
Do you want to go first? Because I'm.
Seems like you're.
I almost called you, bro, because I was so bad. But unfortunately, I was like, dude, I'm gonna leave him alone because I was at that point within the first half, I was pissed. I was pissed.
If you look at it, Tennessee was gifted pretty much every one of their points.
Well, that's the reason I was pissed off, is because that game should have been 42-7. Should have been.
Possibly.
I mean, which without the bonehead call from Kirby Smart to go with it, go for it on fourth. I didn't understand.
Well, that's part of Zamir White's role is for those goal line situations. He's built for stuff like that. And time again, we've seen these 3 games that on the goal line, he just can't seem to punch it in. I don't know why that is. I mean, he's a big guy. I don't see why he's getting stopped so easy.
That's what me and one of my buddies were talking about it, and I just he's got the size, but it's just I don't know what if he just doesn't have the same ability as the Nick Chubb or the Todd Gurley, because he just acts like he can't punch it in, like you said.
I have that problem.
Starting with the beginning of the game, we all saw the snap over his head, and they were gifted 7 points right there.
Yep.
That is what I was like, oh boy, here we go with this same start. But the defense played well. I mean, the defense is lights out. You saw there was one.
They have been all year, man. The 2 touchdowns they got were fucking just deep balls. You had good coverage.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we went over is one of Guarantano's strengths is the deep ball, and he was putting it in only the spot his receiver could catch it.
Yeah.
So hats off to him for being able to put those balls there.
Yeah, I mean he's not a terrible quarterback. I think he's probably middle of the pack in the SEC. But anyway, y'all got anything else to say about the game, or that pretty much sum it up?
I mean,
what do y'all think? Let me ask y'all a question. Who do y'all
off.
think should get the start in the backfield this week at running back?
Milton.
Yeah.
I really like what's his name? Kendall Milton.
Yeah.
I really like his game, dude. He's breaking tackles, hitting holes, making people miss. He's definitely a 5. He might have been a 4-star at high school. I can't remember. Either way, the kid can ball, and he's showing why he was so highly touted when he was coming out of high school. Dude can ball. All right, so now we come to the sad part. The Gators are no longer undefeated. Motherfucker, dude. So I'm watching the game. Offense, hats off. I mean, played a great game other than the turnover on the last drive of the game, which ultimately ended up costing us a chance to win the game. But it's not the reason we lost the game, if that makes sense, y'all. We did have a chance to win there at the end. We didn't have a chance because of the defense. We had a chance because our offense scored every fucking possession. I think we punted one time. Maybe. We might not even have punted, but we did turn the ball over one time. So did A&M. Our defense, I'm struggling to figure out why we were so fucking bad. Ty Grantham likes to run these very complicated schemes. One side of the field, you'll be in zone. One side of the field, you'll be in man coverage. We have no run discipline. We're not in our gaps like we're supposed to be. It looks fucking terrible, and it's disappointing because I know I've seen these guys perform at a much higher level as soon as last year. I've seen it. I mean, our guys are capable, and I don't know what the hell is going on in Gainesville. I don't know if COVID has anything to do with it. I'm not sure it does because these guys have a lot of playing time on that side of the ball. Brent Cox, as much as I like him, he's out of position. Zach Carter's out of position. Zach Carter belongs on the defensive end. He's having to play tackle because of injuries and people opting out, I'm pretty sure. Brent Cox should be the buck where he specializes in rushing the passer. Every play he's rushing the passer, whether it's a run or it's a pass, and he's running himself out of a lot of plays. Not setting the edge. It's a clusterfuck out there. Marco Wilson. And I want y'all to look at me when I say this. This motherfucker got cooked by a white boy that had 5 career catches at Texas A&M. I think he had 9. And the one that fucking just nailed it for me, where I was like, he's either got to perform next week or he's got to be benched. I mean, I don't care how well he played in the past. It's what have you done for me lately? That one where he was finally in position to make a play, the ball goes right through his hands, white boy catches a touchdown. The white boy ended up tearing his ACL on that play. So, I mean, it was late in the game, but he got cooked all game, out of position. I don't know where you go from here. We got a lot of young guys that don't have experience. I say, fuck it, throw them in there. Let's see if they're more tenacious than our defense is right now. We're playing with zero heart. Doesn't look like we want to tackle anybody. It's really disappointing to see a Gator defense like this. This is the worst I've seen since ever. I've been a Gator fan since I was born.
I agree with you.
And it sucks. We've been waiting on this offense for years. Ever since Urban Meyer left, we've been waiting on an offense to perform. And we didn't even want them to be like a lights out offense, high point, stuff like that. We just needed an average offense and let our defense cook. Now we get the offense that I would say is top 10 in the country minimum, maybe top 5. And we can't do anything because our defense is so fucking bad. It's disappointing. If it's still like this at the end of the year, Grantham hadn't made any personnel changes, it's time for him to hit the fucking road. I don't know any other way to put it.
Well, I mean, we had talked about this in a couple podcasts ago. We all knew Florida's defense was not great. But I had fully expected them to, after a couple weeks, start picking up steam. And it's like this game, they played worse than they have the entire season. So I don't know, like you said, I don't know what's there should be some kind of formula to get y'all going. And at this point, I don't know what it is.
I don't know if there is anything with Grantham, but they're running these complicated schemes. I think you keep it basic, either run man or run zone, whatever the situation calls for. Make sure our guys are in their gaps. Keep it simple. These guys, I don't know if they can't get a grasp on the defense or they're talented. I know that because I've seen them play before. I've seen them in person several times. These guys can play. They're fast. And they used to be physical. I don't know what it is. People are scared to stick their nose in there and make a play.
Yeah. Well, and do you think that because sometimes you see these guys doing like this piss poor tackling, and used to I mean, every now and then you see a game where they weren't that pumped up. Do you think it's got a lot to do with the targeting calls and stuff? They're afraid to make hits because they're afraid to get ejected?
No. I don't think that has anything to do with it. There's only one guy that even has a chance on our defense to get targeted. And that's because he fucking comes with bad intentions. That's Sean Davis. He's already been ejected game 1. I'd rather see you get ejected trying to make a play than sitting back there fucking 10 yards off the ball on 3rd and 5, just letting them run a slant complete it for a first down every fucking 3rd down.
I agree with you.
In the red zone, right there at the goal line, they're like on the 3-yard line, 3rd and goal from 3. And fucking Marco Wilson is lined up 7 yards off the ball, 5 yards deep in the end zone. Literally, all they got to do is snap the ball, throw it out there to him, and he trips and falls into the end zone. What are you doing? Like, I don't know if that's the scheme. If it's the scheme, then it's Grantham's fault. If he's just out of position, then of course it's his fault. But Marco Wilson is a student of the game. I'll give him that. Early in his career, you never seen him out of place. He never looked confused. For whatever reason, he can't get lined up. We can't get lined up on defense. On the defensive line, we look confused. Anyway, I'm tired of harping on it. Fuck Todd Grantham right now. Got to get the shit figured out. You're making $1.9 million, and there's nothing to show for it on the field. So,
would you take the job for 1.9?
I'll take the job for fucking $100,000, and I guarantee you we get at least one defensive stop. If not, this is what Dan Mullen needs to do. If we can't fix this defense shit, work on onside kicks. That's the only way. We're not stopping anybody anyway. Maybe we'll get lucky and get 1 or 2 a game. If we get 1 or 2 a game, I like our chances to win every game.
Well, and that's the shame about what y'all's defense right now. Your offense, y'all firing off on all cylinders. Like y'all have a good thing going. And as much as I hate the Florida Gators, I love to see a well-rounded football team. And you look at LSU last year; they beat the shit out of us when they played us. I still love to watch a well-rounded football team. Somebody who's firing off on all cylinders, everything's clicking. And that's something that if Florida had defense, y'all could 100% beat. Like there's no doubt in my mind if y'all had a decent defense, y'all could.
And we've seen LSU struggle early on in the year. Maybe it's something that does get figured out. I don't see it right now. So until I see it, I'm not going to believe it. Anyway, let's move on to this week's big winners. Georgia Tech, I'm going to give it to them. They beat Louisville on Friday night. I watched the entire game. Jeff Sims, Jahmyr Gibbs it's not even a question. The best freshman running back so far that I've seen. Kendall Milton he's still got a chance to prove me wrong here. He's looked well too. Not got as many snaps as Jahmyr Gibbs yet, but Jahmyr Gibbs looks like the number 1 freshman running back in the country. He's getting a lot of reps because they're not very deep at that position at Tech. Jeff Sims looks really good. The offense is figuring it out. The defense is getting timely stops, and they ended up pulling away late to beat Louisville at home. So hats off to Tech. I like to see it. Coach Collins keep recruiting well, keep grinding. You guys are going to be back where you're supposed to be, competing with Georgia hopefully soon. We'll see. Big losers. Florida. No, I don't need to say anymore. Fuck it. Florida.
Honestly, Tech was surprisingly calm because I called him like 30 seconds after the game ended. Because Kyler Garrett had called me and he was he was like, "Dude, are you watching this game?" I was watching the Texas game. And he was like, Are you watching this? And I said, "Let me go turn over there." And I see him. And I honestly was surprised. I did not think Florida was going to have that big of an issue with
we made Killamon look like a Heisman winner, and he's looked like shit the first 2 weeks. Vanderbilt locked him down. He couldn't do shit. Alabama locked him down. He couldn't do shit.
I was proud of you, though. You were very composed.
I stay composed, player.
You were very composed.
I don't get mad anymore. I don't let football dictate my life. I love football. I love the Gators, but I was dragging my ass a little bit for about 3 hours. It just, those kind of losses when you know you're the better team, it hurts. Like Georgia last year, it didn't hurt that bad. I was pretty much expecting us to be in the game, but Georgia's got more talent. I figured they were the better team that day.
It will really
Same thing with LSU. I was like, damn, they're just a talented game. I mean, they're a special team. A&M, they don't impress me. On defense, they're much like us. Their offense hadn't actually done shit until they played our defense. We made them look so good. It was ridiculous. Anyway, another big loser, LSU dropped to Missouri. So they're out in the top 25. Last year's defending national champs, who we were supposed to play this week. The game's been postponed due to COVID. But I'm still going to talk about the matchup later on.
Have we seen a national championship team fall so quickly after a year?
Not that I can remember.
Because, I mean, I've never, how many times has Alabama won the national championship in the last 10 years?
A bunch.
They've won at least 6 times, don't you think?
No.
Like 5?
I think I would go with like 4, maybe.
4 maybe.
4? No, there's no way it's 4.
Yeah.
I think it's 4.
Is it 4?
Something
Okay,
like
I
that.
might just they give me Alabama gives me PTSD. I might just be dreaming of things.
All right, and the last big loser, Miami, the Hurricanes of Dade County. You guys let me down. I picked y'all to cover the spread. I thought y'all showed me a little more. Clemson is damn good, don't get me wrong, but that just shows that Miami's not quite there yet to compete on that high of a level. Look, I can't say much because we lost to a team. Y'all lost to the number 1 team in the country. We lost to like the number 24 team in the country, some shit like that. So I think Miami can still run the table the rest of the year. They could potentially see a rematch with Clemson in the ACC title game. We'll see. I like what De'Aaron King's doing. I think they had a bad game. If you have a bad game against Clemson, they have a good game like they did. They're gonna beat the shit out of you. It just is what it is. All right, you guys ready to do the picks for this week?
I'm down.
Or we're gonna let Zach start it this week. We're just gonna go from left to right.
I actually want to talk a little bit about who gets the defensive MVP for the Georgia game and the offensive MVP.
Yeah. Okay, we can go ahead and do that.
My defensive MVP is going to be Monty Rice. He's the undoubtedly leader on that defense.
Yeah.
He had 8 tackles, 1 sack. Of course, the big sack, scoop and score late in the game, and 2 tackles for loss. He's one of those guys that can just go sideline to sideline and actually and plug the hole too. I like the way Georgia's playing assignment football. You saw sealing the edge, forcing the run back inside, and letting the other guys make the play for you. Moving on to offensive MVP, no other than Stetson Bennett, the mailman. He threw for 238 yards, 2 TDs, and rushed for 1. He's just not making any mistakes. He looks good. It's hard to root against this guy, but I love him.
Yeah.
And you look at Stetson, and Georgia's a team that their defense is going to keep in every ball game. You just need him to not, like you said, not make mistakes and put you behind the chains, or put you behind the 8 ball as they call it. You don't want to see him having to throw a whole lot late in the game to try to come back from multiple scores, and I don't think that's going to be the case at all this year. Looking at this game coming up, we're going to talk about. We might as well go ahead and jump into it. Let me give my offensive and defensive MVPs. Offense, Kyle Trask, 23 of 32, 312 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Congratulations, you're my player of the week. Defense, there is none. Fuck you all. So for the defense, I've got Evan McPherson. Special teams hit a 53-yard field goal to tie the game up late. I think midway through the 4th quarter, late in the game. Clutch field goal. He's got a fucking cannon for a leg. He can boot that bitch. In my opinion, I may be a little biased. I think he's top 3 kickers in the country. He's very accurate, has been his whole career. I think he's a junior now. This is his 3rd season. He had big shoes to fill. Gator Nation loved Eddie Pinheiro, and they chanted his name when he came on the field, which is weird for a kicker. But seeing how lackadaisical our offense was, it's no surprise. Anyway, hats off to you, Evan McPherson. You'll be kicking on Sundays one day.
My offensive player lookout was Jermaine Burton. Did you see? I mean, the kid is a freshman, and
he's so good, man.
This last game, and here's the thing: he's not going to do anything but improve, and so he's definitely definitely going to be somebody to look out for this year. But next year and for the rest of his college career, I think if he keeps it up, he's definitely going to be a receiver in the NFL because he played, especially for a freshman, played with a lot of composure.
Well, my thing is, Kirby did a good job, or whoever, Monken did a good job of getting him the ball in positions that he can only have success in.
Yeah.
Got him the ball in the perimeter. Dude, he's got burners. He makes people miss, electrifying. And I was very impressed with him, too. That's the first time I've seen him. Is that the first time he's played this year?
No.
Okay.
He played.
He really stood out on Saturday. He really
and that's why I picked him because he's gotten a couple of touches the past couple of games. What did you say? Maybe like 5 touches, maybe.
Possibly.
But this last game he really did. He showed out. He made himself. That's something that's important to me is to see a player look like they want to be there and they want that start position. I think he shows that drive and that hunger for the ball.
Yeah.
And so
he's gonna be a problem, dude.
Kenny McIntosh as well. He played a very good game. I think on offense, like you said, our defense that's why I really didn't even pick a defensive player of the week because our defense played lights out. Everybody knew their positions. They just chopped wood. I know Kirby Smart likes to say they keep chopping wood. That's what they did. So
he needs to chop that fucking bowl cut off. Right. To do.
No, because that bowl cuts and mullets win national championships, baby. If the only other haircut he could have was a mullet, I'd fuck with it.
No.
Yeah.
I had that cut when I was 8.
But I was extremely impressed with Mr. Burton. He did a fantastic job. So shout out to that guy.
All right, let's jump to the picks. Zach, game number 1, UGA at Bama. Bama giving up 6 points. Georgia's getting 6 points. What you got?
Showing absolutely no bias here. Wink, wink. I'm going to go with the dogs on this one. Defense, everybody knows defense wins championships. Bama's defense got exposed last week. Yeah. They gave up 647 total yards to a potent offense. Matt Corral's playing lights out. He also showed a weak spot in Bama's defense. It don't seem like they cover tight ends very well. Kenny Yeboah had 187 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. That's a big. I mean, he's a big guy. We have excellent tight ends, huge tight ends. All of our tight ends are 6'5" and above. So I think that needs to be part of that game plan is to start getting the tight ends involved. Another thing goes into that is Bama's offense. They're scoring points, they're putting up points, but Mac Jones really hasn't had any pressure put on him. In that game, he was only sacked twice in 3 hurries. And 2 of those hurries was that sack, or 2 of those hurries was those 2 sacks. But Georgia's defense is going to be completely different than what they've seen this year. So that's what's going to go into that. Also, Bama's offense, Najee Harris, which is on my Heisman watch list, he had 5 rushing touchdowns. Sorry to tell you, you're not going to do that this weekend. Georgia's excelling against the run. So yeah, I'm gonna go UGA.
You think they went straight up, right?
Straight up.
All right. Huda?
I'm gonna do, because as you all will already know by the time you watch this, Nick Saban has COVID-19. Unfortunate, and we're praying for you, my friend. But
are you though?
I am, dude. I don't want him.
I think you might be capping a little bit.
But anyway, as you can see, Zach, I had Bama. Just because, dude, Nick Saban worries me to death, and it's not even the team, because we all saw what Zach said about last week, how their defense was exposed. I kind of wrote some notes on Bama's defense have not been scored on like that in the past 3 years. The closest one in 2017 was Bama versus Mississippi State. Mississippi State hung 24 on them. In 2018, Bama versus Arkansas. Arkansas hung 31 on them. In 2019, Auburn hung 45 on Bama. This has been the most scores put up on Alabama within the last 3 years. And I mean, to me, and those were every other team scoring like maybe 21, maybe 28 if it was a good game. They played a really good game. But you're looking in the low teens for most of these people who are playing. So I'm really looking at our chances, especially with I've always said I'm not one to bet against Nick Saban, but especially with him having COVID-19, we don't know what the game plan is going to be. With that, he could possibly still be on the field if they quarantine to his own room. So we'll see what they do. But I'm picking UGA on this one.
UGA straight up.
Straight up.
I'm just kidding, boys. All right. Let me tell you what I think happens here. I think Todd Monken is going to get Stetson Bennett going early. Probably some easy completions to get his confidence up. I think they're going to run the ball effectively. I think they're going to be able to do that against Bama's defense. We know Nick Saban has been stressing defense all week at practice this week after giving up 45 to Ole Miss. Matt Corral balled. I mean, he had a fantastic game and had a lot of success. I like Georgia to straight up win the game. I think they go into Tuscaloosa, and I picked this before I knew Nick Saban had COVID. I really don't think it's going to be that big of a factor. I think Georgia goes in there and handles business. I don't think Alabama's going to march up and down the field at all. I think points are going to be hard to come by, especially for Alabama. If I had to guess a score, I'd probably say 27-21 maybe, Georgia. I like it.
Tate, were you surprised by Alabama's defensive performance last week? Because I was. I mean, I'll be the first to tell you I was surprised.
I'm going to tell you, Lane Kiffin is going to do good things at Ole Miss. If he can keep that talent he's got in there, keep him from transferring. Of course, every year you're going to have to re-recruit your guys to stay home because of the transfer rules that are coming into play. You can transfer and not have to sit a year anymore. So if you keep them guys in there, keep them in the program, make them buy in, and recruit at a high level, which I think isn't going to be a problem for him, Lane Kiffin is going to be a fucking problem, dude. If DJ Durkin can get his guys in there and get that defense even mediocre, they're going to be a problem. I
agree.
But no, it didn't surprise me because we played Ole Miss early in the year, and despite how bad our defense fucking is, they really moved the ball at will. So no, it doesn't surprise me. Matt Corral's been balling. I think the running back name's Ely. He's one of the best in the country, one of the best in the SEC. Let me rephrase that. They've got I can't remember the guy's fucking name. Their little wide receiver, number 8, Elijah Moore maybe. He's a little fucking ball of dynamite. Dude's electric,
Yeah.
makes plays. So, no, it didn't surprise me. I think Georgia, I don't think they'll score as much as Ole Miss did, but they don't have to because the defense is that good. So, I like Georgia straight up. I really do.
Part of my question was, do you think that was more of an Ole Miss offense thing? Because they're firing off on all cylinders. They have a fantastic offense this year. Or do you think it was a defensive problem with Alabama?
I think anytime a team scores 45, it has to be at minimum a mixture of both. I think Alabama's not as good as they've been in the past years on defense, and I think Ole Miss is very good on offense. So I think it's a mixture of both.
Because I mean they were both, and I mean not to slouch on Ole Miss's defense, they were firing shots at each other in the first quarter.
No, Ole Miss went toe to toe with them.
Yeah, the whole first half.
The fourth quarter they pulled away a little bit, but
I mean I'm talking about dude. They were
just got more depth.
They were answering each other every other play.
Yeah.
So it was a fun game to watch. It really was.
All right, game 2 has been postponed. Let's just see what everybody thought about the game anyway. Zach, we'll start it off. LSU traveling to the Swamp. This game will be played December 12th now, I believe, so it'll be at the end of the season. But just tell me what you had going into this week, what you're looking for.
Well, it's pretty apparent both those defenses are extremely sus. They're
To say the least.
they're just not playing well at all. Florida has the worst third down defense in the SEC right now, and LSU has the worst third down efficiency in the SEC right now. So I mean, it's kind of like both teams know how to score. Both teams can't stop anybody. I had Florida winning straight up, but I had LSU covering the spread. And I don't know if you've heard anything about this, but on Twitter, is Jacob Copeland taking reps at safety?
Is he? No, I haven't heard that. Fucking please God.
That's
Jacob,
what.
I know you're probably looking at this and saying I can benefit the team more on the offensive side of the ball, and you're probably right. You're a standout receiver, but if you go to the defensive side of the ball, you're going to be on the field a lot, and you're going. Hopefully, you make some fucking plays. So if that's true, that's big news. They're mixing it. That means they've narrowed down the problems. We've had a problem at safety for several years. Ever since Chauncey Gardner left, we've had problems at safety. So whatever we can do to mix it up and put some pressure on those guys to perform, by all means do it.
And I think part of that was because COVID was taking such a big toll on Florida at the time. Earlier today, before the game was canceled, I know y'all had like 19 or 26 confirmed cases.
19 cases amongst the players and 2 assistant coaches have
And
been
was there
confirmed.
were they showing symptoms or?
To my knowledge, none of the players showed symptoms, and none of the coaches showed symptoms.
Let them
Actually, what I read earlier is there were some Florida players before they left to go to College Station that they had allergy symptoms like sniffy nose and headache.
I mean, it could have been.
So it could have been, COVID's got a million symptoms.
Yeah,
So
could have been.
that's what the report was on ESPN. And like I said, Jacob Copeland taking those reps at safety, I'm not sure they were just trying to have a contingency plan for if they did play the game, they wouldn't
That's probably what it was.
Right.
But let's fucking do it anyway. Let's mix it up.
Do y'all know if they're going to are they going to run this game back, or is this going to be one that they just?
Yeah, I just said it was rescheduled for December 12th.
Oh, you did. I didn't
Yes.
hear you. I heard you.
Thank you, Zach. All right, so who are you picking?
I picked Florida to cover in this game just because.
Oh my God.
I really did. Because I just don't have that much confidence in this LSU football team.
All right, so I'm gonna just tell you straight up. I picked LSU to win the game because we can't figure it out. Miles Brennan banged up, and they said he was doubtful. But this fucker is going to play. Can what?
Can figure it out.
All they've got to do is stop us one time and we lose. Yes, I do. I think they're capable of getting one stop on defense. I think they can do that. For whatever reason, we can't. I picked LSU to win the game straight up. Until I see something different on the defensive side of the ball, and we'll continue to pick us to fucking lose to decent teams because that's all I think A&M is a decent team. I don't think they're not competing for the West this year. We're supposed to have national championship aspirations, playoff aspirations, SEC championship game aspirations, and I just don't see it on the field. I'm not seeing a competent product on the defensive side of the ball. So I picked LSU to win the game straight up. That's just how I'm rolling until I see otherwise.
Well, and the good thing is now, I mean, here's what sucks is because this could be kind of viewed as a bye week, but they're not going to be able to get together. They're not going to let them. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do.
I wouldn't be surprised if the game next week's postponed too.
I don't know what they're going to do.
These people still testing positive. as of today, you look at the minimum. It's either NCAA or SEC rule, 10 days. So I don't expect us to be able to play next week either. I'm gonna be honest. They're still going back and doing the tracing. I'm sure if there's 19 guys on the team that are testing positive now, it's
probably
somebody
400 horse with COVID-19 right now.
Well, these guys share a bus. They share rooms when they go travel to College Station. I think there's just going to be more positives. I think it's going to be 2 weeks before we see the Gators take the field again. And let me tell you how this is going to line up for us. We're going to have this week off, next week off to heal up, and then we've got the bye week and then Georgia.
Do you think that it'll give y'all? Because I think this could be a positive for y'all's defense. Y'all can sit there and kind of chill. And
I don't think it's going to be a positive for the defense at all. You got to go out there and fucking go through tackling circuits, go over the defensive schemes. I don't even think they can gather right now. So the defense, I don't think it's.
My thing is, if they have COVID-19, and they're all COVID positive, dude, let them play, let them practice.
They're not going to do that, though.
So you never know.
They're not going to do that. No, they're definitely not going to do that.
You think they could run a scrimmage between Team COVID and Team Non-COVID?
Absolutely not going to happen. They're going to take the proper precautions. But what this does do is Dan Mullen is free right now. He's not game planning for LSU. Early next week, we should know the game against Missouri is going to be postponed. He probably won't be game planning for that week. And then that gives you 3 weeks to watch Georgia break down their film. And Dan Mullen, regardless of what I see on the defensive side of the ball, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, you take it for what it's worth, is the best offensive line in college football right now. Especially right now, Lincoln Riley struggling. I would have took the argument from Lincoln Riley because he's done a phenomenal job, especially he got 2 or 3 Heisman quarterbacks. Hard to argue that. Dan Mullen has done a phenomenal job at Florida. You look at an offense that's been sputtering for 10, 20 years. It's ridiculous. Turned it around year one. Took a quarterback that couldn't fucking hold Georgia's quarterback jockstrap and won 10 games with him. Last year won 11 games with Felipe and Kyle Trask, a guy that hasn't played meaningful snaps since middle school. It's impressive. So we'll see. Maybe we can get a good game plan. Ty Grantham's got to figure out something. Georgia can hand the ball off and run the ball every play and probably beat us right now. So we got to get something figured out. Make them try to beat us through the air. It will be my guess. Next game 3. North Carolina at Florida State. Florida State plus 13. Zachary, let's see what you got.
Going into this pick, Florida State, they're giving up over 400 yards a game. That just is unacceptable.
I wish we could do that.
Especially with that tier of school that's down there. They're having a rough year. North Carolina, on the other hand, Howell, he's playing well. I like what Matt Brown's doing up there. So I'm gonna go against I'm gonna go with North Carolina covering the spread. I think they win easy.
That's a nice pick. Very nice pick.
That's the same thing I have UNC covering.
Okay. I like what Sam Howell's doing at North Carolina. Matt Brown obviously can get a team ready to play, good game planning. Florida State has seen some turnaround, especially on the offensive side of the ball since, I can't remember his name, Travis J, maybe? I don't know. Since they benched Blackman, they've been getting decent quarterback play, been moving the ball. They were able to move the ball pretty well against Notre Dame, which I think they covered the spread. Florida State actually covered the spread against Notre Dame. They didn't look terrible. They were in the game until a little after halftime. I didn't really watch the game, so I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I think Florida State covers. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know why. I just got a funny feeling. North Carolina's been in some battles this year.
They have.
Their offense can score. There's no doubt about that. I can't remember who they played last week, but they had problems stopping them, let them hang around. I think they let Florida State hang around and Florida State loses. I don't think they're ever in danger of losing the game, but I think Florida State scores some in trash time, and I think they lose by 10 or so.
Now, that same feeling that you say you have covering the spread, is that the same feeling you had last week when you went 3-6 with going?
Yeah, what I'm trying to do here, guys.
He's trying to.
You don't have to look high. You don't have to look hard. I'm trying to pick some games that I know they're not going to pick to try to catch back up. Normally, I would say North Carolina wins in a fucking landslide because that shit show in fucking Tallahassee just ain't doing it for me. But I got to pick you because, my hands are tied. I knew they were both going to pick North Carolina to cover, and I think the spread's very small. But I got to try to make up for
Who
it.
do you think wins? A COVID-ridden Florida team or a healthy Florida State team?
Oh my God! Our whole team could die in a fucking plane crash. We can take our intramural team out there and bury them motherfuckers. They're terrible. They got loser blood. Anyway, let's move on. Fourth game, Auburn at South Carolina. South Carolina is getting 3 points. What you got, Zach?
This is a tough one to pick.
This is going to be a good game.
Both of those teams are middle of the road.
Yeah.
Auburn barely squeaked by Arkansas.
Should have lost to Arkansas. That was
yeah.
a fucking fumble. Come on.
It was.
Let's be real.
Bo Nix this year just hasn't really looked the part, especially under pressure. He's not making his throws. He's not making his reads. Colin Hill, on the other hand, I like him.
Yeah, he reminds me of I can't remember. Anyway, what was the quarterback for Alabama several years ago? McElroy, maybe?
Yeah.
Just a game manager. I mean, he doesn't make mistakes, doesn't put the ball on the ground, doesn't put his team in bad situations, and he's been efficient. I like it too. Bobo, of course, he was under Bobo at Colorado State, familiar with the offense. I think that's why he got the nod over Helinski. It is what it is. I like him too. I really do.
I don't know what Vegas was thinking South Carolina was the underdog here. I think clearly Auburn is the underdog. But nevertheless, I am going to go with South Carolina and that they cover handily.
I've got the same pick, dude. I have no confidence in this Auburn team, and I'm so glad I don't because I hate you and I hate your fans. I hate everybody who goes to Auburn. So you can all suck a big fat cock when you take the losers.
You think it's cool that they roll a tree after victories? Like they take toilet paper and just roll a tree?
Childish.
Yeah, it's childish.
I don't like it either. I'm not a big fan
childish.
of it.
I mean, you're rowing your own trees, you goddamn morons.
They are in Alabama, so
who the fuck does that?
My question is, who the fuck cleans that up? Like, does the football team go out there Sunday morning and clean that shit up?
Nobody, bro. They leave it in there because that's a trash town, number one. You're a trash town. You have a trash program. You're losing. I mean, you're probably going to go negative this year. You're going to have more losses than you do wins.
And if they do that, I think Gus Malzahn's seat is getting warmer by the week.
I hope so. I hope the dude loses his job.
No, you shouldn't.
I hope he loses.
You've had a history of beating him.
I hope
he stays there.
I hope he loses his job. I hope he never works again. I hope every player on the team never plays another down of football.
What about Romello Height from Dublin?
he got some playing time.
That's on him, bro.
I know.
That's on him
Hey,
for
did y'all
choosing
see
a shit
Garrett
school.
Jackson, the kid from West Lawrence, linebacker from Kentucky, intercepted the ball to seal the game this Saturday?
Did he really?
True freshman, yes.
Wow, I didn't
Shout
see
out to
that.
you, Garrett Jackson. I don't know if you watch it, but I seen your Facebook post. Congratulations, my friend.
I'll have to
Many
go
more
back
to
and look at
come.
the video.
He made a wise choice going to Kentucky. They're continuing to build that program. They got great facilities. They have a history of putting defensive players in the league here recently. I think he made a great move. Stoops is a good coach. I like Stoops. Anyway.
Way better choice than going to Auburn, buddy. Fantastic brain you have on your nugget there.
I've got South Carolina winning straight up. Auburn hadn't impressed me on either side of the ball. I think they're very average on both sides of the ball. Bo Nix, they are probably fucking wanting to kill themselves after letting Joey Gatewood transfer out to Kentucky because he looks better than Bo Nix to me already. I mean, limited reps. I think he looks better. So I'm going South Carolina. I just think they win straight up. I think Will Muschamp may hang around another year or two. He's doing some things that are impressing me. Hung in there with us. They hung in there with Tennessee. Probably should have won that game if it wasn't for his coaching job. He probably would have won that. But they bounced back, blew out Vanderbilt. That's what you're supposed to do to those teams. And I think they win. I think they win this weekend. All right, game 5. Ole Miss at Arkansas. Arkansas +3. Interesting game to me too. Mm-hmm. This will be fun because I think Arkansas's defense is pretty good.
Yeah.
And Ole Miss's offense is really good. So go ahead, Zach.
This one was another, like I said, another good game to watch. Ole Miss's offense clicking on all cylinders. Arkansas's turned out to be better than we thought after week 1.
It's Felipe Franks, man. he's a gamer, dude.
And what I was about to say, why did he leave UL?
Because we got Kyle Trask, fucking Heisman front runner. Are you kidding me right now? That's why he left. He saw painting on the wall. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I like Matt Corral.
Dude.
So for that reason, I'm gonna go with Ole Miss, and I've got them covering.
Yeah, I have Ole Miss to cover too, and like he said, Corral's doing the thing right now. So, especially their performance the last week is, I don't think they're gonna have a problem in this game.
Well, I'm trying to make up ground here, but you fuckers are stealing my picks. I like what Matt Corral's doing. I like what Lane Kiffin's got going on. I'm on the Lane train. I'm doing a fantastic job. Mike Leach just fell off a little bit. I know this isn't about him, but they're in-state rivals. I think Ole Miss looks further along as a program. They're more complete. And I'm telling you, once DJ Durkin gets his players in there and gets a average defense, they're going to be a problem. That being said, Ole Miss, I think they win by probably 20 points, I'm saying. I think once they figure out how to score and where Arkansas's weaknesses are, they're going to exploit them. Felipe Franks is going to make some mistakes, as he always does, and I think it ends up being a 3-score game. I'll go Ole Miss. Next game, the fucking Golden Knights in that shithole Orlando travel to Memphis, Tennessee. The Raging Tigers, the fine.
Is Gainesville the only good place in Florida?
There's several good places in Florida. Let me tell you. Orlando, Miami, and Tallahassee are not it. That's not it.
There's a 3 shit
There's a lot of good places. You talk, dude, I'd rather go to fucking Bethune-Cookman and Daytona than go to fucking Florida State right now. I mean, honestly, I'm just being honest. Anyway, UCF at Memphis. Memphis is getting 3.5 points. Zach took it.
Both these teams kind of. I don't watch a whole lot of the games. All three of us are mostly SEC guys. But Dylan Gabriel, he's got arm talent. I mean, and on the opposite side, Brady White, he's just as talented, I think.
Mm-hmm.
UCF has a better defense as far as efficiency, yards allowed, and all that stuff. So that's what's going behind this reason. This is another close game. I've got UCF winning and covering.
We picked a lot of the same games this week, buddy, because I got UCF winning and covering this game.
Not so fast, my friend. Mike Norvell has left Memphis, but when he left Memphis, he left them in a good place. They've got good backs. They got a good quarterback. They got talented wide receiver. Defense is always a question there in Conference USA. I think Memphis protects their house. I think they cover the spread, and I think they win straight up. Fuck UCF. You lost to Tulsa. You garbage-ass fucking program.
How many people you could think are going to die in the riots after that in Memphis? I used to live in Memphis when I was a wee lad, so I can say that. But
so why aren't you picking Memphis, dude? That's your fucking hometown. What's wrong with you? That dump hole in fucking Orlando. The best thing in Orlando is Disney, and that's fucking saying something. Disney is shit as well. Orlando's a dump, dude. You all there.
Memphis is a dump. Bro, have you seen that place?
Fuck that.
It's
Not as bad as Orlando.
Dumpster fire.
No, fuck that. Orlando's a dumpster fire. All the abandoned buildings, children getting raped left and right. I'm tired of it, dude.
Oh my god.
I'm calling these fuckers out, dude. Orlando, you could own this shit. And I'm not going to stand for it. You need to quit your football program. It's absolutely horseshit. It's terrible. Anyway, I'm just kidding. But not really.
What about the kids?
I like Memphis to win straight up.
What about the kids?
Kids, stay safe in Orlando. All right, game number 7. Kentucky at Tennessee. I think this will be a decent game. What you think, Zach? What you got going on?
Do we know what time that game comes on?
I do not, right off the top of my head. I would assume we were scheduled for 3:30. That would probably be. That might be the other 3:30 game. Yeah, that sounds like a 3:30.
So. Both these teams are right there on the cusp in the East to be contenders. Kentucky was impressive last week. They shut down KJ Costello, 4 picks, and they only scored 2 points. Mm-hmm. That's very impressive. Because I think we was on that KJ Costello train, how talented he is.
After week 1, yeah, we
right. So I've got Kentucky with this. Yeah, I got Kentucky covering as well. Well, actually, they're
straight up.
Yeah, straight up.
Noon. Okay, they come on at noon. Damn. Okay, that's my noon game I'm gonna be watching. Right. Go ahead, Hodo. Who you got fucking pulling this one out, buddy? Don't come at me with no bullshit either. Go ahead, let's go.
Bro. I've got. Who's playing?
You're fucking with me, right?
No, I was lost for a second.
You got it right there.
Who do I got?
Tennessee to cover. It's Kentucky at Tennessee.
Okay. I was lost for a second. I thought we already talked about the Tennessee game.
So you got Tennessee to cover.
Yeah, I've got Tennessee to cover.
Good pick. I've also got Tennessee to cover. I think Kentucky, their one weakness on defense is in the pass game. I think Garantano can exploit them. I expect this to be a very close game, though. I think one score game. I think 7 points. I'd probably say 30-27, or 30-23, somewhere in there. About a touchdown. I got Tennessee covering. All right, game number 8, Cincinnati at Tulsa. As you recall, Tulsa smacked the absolute dog shit out of UCF. Just gonna throw that out there for y'all. Go ahead, Zach.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't watch a whole lot of Cincinnati. I don't watch a whole lot of Tulsa.
I don't watch any.
I've got a Tulsa poster in my room now that they took down the goddamn Golden Knights.
That's subpar football.
The Hurricanes.
But
no, they're not.
I've got Cincinnati on this one, straight up. And cover.
What you got?
I've got the same thing that Zach has.
Well, lucky for you, I'm gonna make up a pick here. I'm gonna gain a spot on you folks. Because Tulsa, their defense is excellent. Their offense is efficient. I think they win here.
What's their mascot?
Especially on the Hurricane, the Golden Hurricane.
I thought they were the one. Who's the ones with the dragon?
It's UAB.
UAB,
yeah. Who picks a dragon for college?
It's pretty badass, actually.
Who picks the Golden Hurricane? I would think that's something you need to look up on Urban Dictionary.
Facts.
Yeah.
And they're in
probably
Oklahoma.
Like a golden,
I don't think they have
probably a golden shower with like 12 dudes.
you just spin around the whole time.
When's the last time Oklahoma had a hurricane? Because they're in Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma. They're the Golden Hurricane. I mean, it must have been a golden.
Well, I mean, that's what it's about, dude. It's about 12 dudes gathering around and pissing on one girl.
I've got Tulsa, guys. Let's move on. Number 9, Clemson at Tech, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech against 27.
I got. It's always hard to pick against a 27-point spread. It doesn't matter who's playing who, especially whenever you get to a lead. 21, 20, whatever. That starts at trash time. Your second string guys come in. I think Clemson's going to play like Clemson plays. Travis Etienne and Trevor Lawrence, they get in there and do the damn thing. They're going to win straight up, but don't sleep on Georgia Tech's offense either, especially in trash time. So I'm going to get – I got Georgia Tech covering.
Nice. All right, hold on.
I've got Clemson because they are the only good thing to ever come out of the almost competitive conference.
What about FSU in 2013?
No, that was
according to them, they're the best team ever to ever play the game.
James Winston stole those crab legs and it ignited them to something they never should have had.
And he fucked her right in the pussy. You remember that?
Dude, I was proud of him after that, though.
No, I mean, fuck that. He rapes children. No, I'm just kidding. Let me slow down before I catch a lawsuit. He did have some rape allegations.
Hey,
I think he did it.
Honestly,
I don't. I mean, if you're a quarterback at a major university, you can get any girl you want. You ain't got to rape people. So I think she was consensual, and then her friends found out about it, and then she was like, "Oh, I didn't bug him, I'm not a whore," and then tried to turn.
But she really
more
is
than
a
likely,
whore.
Probably a whore.
She's a whore.
So anyway, back to this game. I got Clemson covering. I think Tech keeps it close early, like the first quarter early. I think they're able to score a couple times, but Brent Venables, one of the best defensive minds in college football. I think he's great at making adjustments. Second half, I think Sims and Gibbs run out of steam, and I think their defense is going to be on the field a lot. So I like Clemson to cover here. I have been great at predicting Georgia Tech games, by the way, guys. I think I'm undefeated when picking Tech games, just so throwing that out there. If I can do that with Florida, I'll be doing something. BYU at Houston. There wasn't a real lot of competitive games this week, so I had to throw one in there for the 10th pick. BYU at Houston. Houston's getting 5.5 points. Zach?
BYU has played 4 games, and Houston has only played 1. So we all know what happens if you have a hiccup on game 1, you kind of straighten those things out game 2, and so on and so forth. So on that account, I've got BYU. I've got them one.
All right, I'm going with you too. I got BYU.
Not a whole lot to say here, guys. I've got BYU. I think that they've had more time to make those adjustments in between game weeks, correct any mistakes. I think Houston hasn't had that time. I think BYU is going to win. I don't think it's going to be that close. I don't think 5.5 points is near enough. I think more like 14 to 17 range is what I would pick, but that's what I've got. All right, so we're coming to the end of the show here. Any teams that have surprised you thus far this year? Any players that have surprised you thus far this year that come from nowhere? It doesn't have to be from your team. It can be from any team.
One that comes to mind is Stetson Bennett. We've already talked about that. So, I mean, it's And I'm really not somebody who, other than the SEC football and maybe every now and then some ACC, because we do have some competition there. And I haven't seen anybody like anybody who's just going to pop out at the screen at you and who you really say.
I've got a player that I think may be a future Heisman frontrunner coming up. He's got one of the best offensive minds as his head coach in the country. I think Matt Corral is going to make some noise in this offense. This is his first year in the offense, and you've got to think about limited reps with COVID going on, and look how good he looks against Alabama, against Florida, teams that perennially have good defenses. We don't this year, that's obvious, but he has made plays, play after play after play. Not a whole lot of mistakes. He's looking like a stud, dude. I really like Matt Corral. Shout out to you. I wish you would have chose Florida. I know you had to do what's best for you. But hats off to you. You've been playing great ball. Keep it up. I'm on the lane train, baby. Let's go. But anyway, I think that's – y'all got anything else to add?
I think a standout player for me would be Kyrus Jackson.
Oh, man.
Because kind of last year you didn't really see a whole lot out of him, which our passing game was atrocious last year. But it just seems like he's unguardable. Mm-hmm. Every time he catches the ball, there's nobody within 10 yards of him. He's not afraid to take. Yeah, he's not afraid to take a hit.
I think you got to credit a lot of that to Todd Monken too. He schemes him where he's. I think that's a big problem on Florida's defense. I think Grantham is putting kids in a position where they can't succeed. Like he's playing them out of position. He's putting them in man coverage when they're better at zone, vice versa. I just feel like that's a big problem with Florida's defense. But shout out to Monken. He's looked very good. He's got Georgia rolling on offense, really.
Yeah.
I think Georgia's the front runner in the SEC this year.
I hope so.
I'm saying it now. We'll find out a lot more about that this weekend. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe on all platforms. Tell a friend. Word of mouth is the best way to get us out there. Anybody interested in coming on, let us know. We'll make that happen. You can either, if you're afraid to get COVID, we can phone you in.
Or give it to you, one or the other.
Yeah.
I've got it currently.
Me too. Anyway, I'm just playing. All right, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all make this possible. Have a good weekend. Make sure y'all watch these college football and roast us on our picks. Have a nice weekend. Peace.
Holla.
See you.